Hey guys, great video for you today. If you've watched in the last little bit, we did a video on KNIPEX here with their Circlip Pliers. We'll take a look at these because the next video we're going to do today is going to be, well, it's about these WISEPRO Circlip Pliers. And we're going to put them up side by side versus these KNIPEXs because they're pretty darn similar. So let's crack these open. We'll take a look, tell you guys all about them, if they're worth your time, if you should stay with the KNIPEX, or maybe if there's some gray area in between where you should maybe consider one over the other. Let's do that right now. Let's crack open the KNIPEXs. If you haven't seen the video, we did a video a little while back. I'll go ahead and post a link to the video as well as to the products that KNIPEX has. We'll start with this one first. If you see this here, right, this is your 90-degree KNIPEX Circlip plier, and we'll go over a little bit of the nitty-gritty details of it, but this is what we're up against. Most of these follow that design with some adaptations. Now WISEPRO, similar kind of roll-up bag case, right? The material in this, you can even see it here too. It's not awesome, it's not great. Made in China, made in Germany, big difference in manufacturing location, but they've attempted to make a roll-up tool bag. Inside is where, well, it starts to make itself apparent too. I mean, it's a mesh versus this really nice thick nylon that's on this. This is very durable. Yeah. And we'll take out the first one here. Alright, so these are spring-loaded. And a fairly decent, nice forging. It's got that Torx bolt there in the middle. It's got the nylon dipped, and these are the grippy type handles, not super thick or anything, and a good spring load inside there. The spring's actually located inside there, but yeah, it works. It works all right. Now, what does that look like in comparison to the KNIPEX? Well, let you guys see them side by side. They actually look very similar in design. And the reason for that is because they've literally stole the design with this company. Same fastener in the middle. Same proportions. I mean, we could put it back to back here. Let you guys see that. They are carbon copies. They go a little bit further up on the dipping design on the China ones. But guys, they are almost identical. Now, where you might be telling yourself right now, some of you guys are saying, "Awesome! I could get similar quality out of the Chinese. Even the spring rates are pretty close. I get the same quality out of the Chinese versus the German-made product." And that's where you're going to be deceived. We'll start right here. So they use an abundance of material here, whereas this is a lot more streamlined. But the real kicker, guys, is going to be KNIPEX. They used a hardened, I think they called it spring steel last time I looked at it. And you guys feel free to watch the video. But they actually drill this out and put even a harder steel in there. And then you can see right here, where my thumb's at, then they press fit it inside there. So it's a permanent bond. And so this steel is harder than this forged steel. And the good thing about that is so you can keep using this over and over again on those really pesky C-clips, because those Circlips, they're going to be a harder steel themselves, and they're going to bite in and tear these up. Because I'm sure you guys have owned several pairs of these in your lifetime, and what happens? It eats into this, it tears it up, but guess what? These guys, let's do a zoom in here so you guys can really see. There you go, guys. That is literally just milled. It is part of the forging. There is no compression fitting inside there. They just took this, and at least they got it pointed the right direction. Right, so it allows it to grab and hold it in place instead of slinging it. But that is your big difference, guys, is the highest wear part that you're going to run across right here is not the same. And I'll show you once again with this one. So you can see where those two separate materials meet there, especially on this one where it's dark. You can see where the compression fitting right here And so that steel goes all the way down in there, at least to there. I'm guessing it probably goes a little bit further. And allows it to seat and attempt to wear on this extremely strong steel here. Now I just tried looking up my Harbor Freight version. They're just a stamped steel version. It's just so you can see what really chintzy ones look like. And odds are a lot of you guys started out with those yourselves, or maybe you even still have some of those. And by all means, chuck them. I'm pretty sure I chucked mine. They're not around anymore. But I wanted to see how these worked, because you're talking about a major price difference between what is here in this bag versus what is included in KNIPEX's set. And we could go through and just check out a couple of these while we're at it, because I'm sure you guys are wondering yourselves, you know, how do these stack up to each other in comparison? And granted, this is only a partial. I mean, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 4. So this is half of the number of those. You see the part number on KNIPEX if you want to do the side-by-side. But again, I mean, everything else about it, I mean, it's fine, because these don't see a terrible amount of abuse as far as the handles and as far as the pivot point, as far as the arms. These don't see terrible amounts of abuse, and I mean, they match up. They match up perfectly fine. I mean, they're good. I mean, even the finish work might just be a little bit better than this in just this one case. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's take a look at those tips side by side. Can you tell the difference? Which one's the hardened spring steel and which one is just a machined version of the regular steel? These actually have little bumps here at the tip. Yeah. The KNIPEXs are right here in the front, and these are the WISEPROs here in the back. That's your big difference, guys. I mean, I could tolerate all the rest of the stuff, but I mean, hands down, you're talking about a major difference in the durability long term with these. So there's sprung versions, not sprung versions. These ones are meant to pull in, and it pulls the circlip down into there. So, but once again, no spring steel, just the regular parent material that's been milled down. So let's go ahead and give them a try. I got this circlip here on this wrench. We'll just try giving it a pull, see what happens. Yeah, that works fine. We'll zoom in so you guys can see how the process works. And these are, again, these are the Chinese-made ones. But functionality-wise, that's just fine. It does what it's supposed to do. Go ahead, take it, slap it back inside there. Make sure we get it in there good. Yeah, seated just fine. And then the exact same model, but in the KNIPEXs. Goes in there. Squeeze it. Actually, it's a little bit easier to go all the way in. Sometimes these want to kind of pop out, so you gotta play with them just a little bit. But that went back in there just as easy. Okay, so they both do the same thing. Now, I mean, am I beating up on the Chinese version a little bit? Maybe a little bit. They have what, I mean, construction-wise, they're there. They're good. It's solid. The spring works good inside of it. I got no beef there. They'll do a majority of jobs just fine. Now, if you have really pesky ones, you could potentially snap off the tips. If you have some really pesky, stuck circlips. That's only as strong as the material that this is made out of, which is strong, but it's not going to be super strong in comparison to what the KNIPEX has, because they use an extra hard steel. Now, I would say in this case, and this isn't going to be a popular opinion, I think you can make an argument for both types of plier sets. The KNIPEX, 8 pieces, if I counted that correctly. Way more selection to choose from. It's going to cover a more broad range of larger and medium-sized circlips. This set here, that's from WISEPRO, less expensive. But it's going to work, I think, for most shade tree mechanics, do-it-yourselfers, or guys who just only occasionally need to use a circlip. And that's where the price makes up the difference. You're talking over $100 for this set. Depending on if it's on sale, I think they're close to 120, 140 range. I've seen them pop up to. But for half of the amount of tools, you could get this one for $19. This whole set, all 4 of these for $19, and that's on par with a lot of really cheap brands. Pittsburgh, Harbor Freight, stuff from your local Napa that's cheap, because there's plenty of stuff there too, or your AutoZones. This is going to be a better deal than a lot of those really chintzy stamped steel options. These are actually better than that. So I think there's a case for these. I think these are actually still good, but if you got the money and you're debating between the two, and you want a long-term tool that's going to last you a long time, easy choice. Take this one. But if you're looking for something that's on a good budget, it's actually going to be a pretty decent product. I mean, these are good too. I think you do just fine for most projects with this set. I don't think you're going to get hurt, especially $20. That's a great deal, right? You're looking at $5 a tool, and they did a good job copying KNIPEX, all except for one small part. So yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you have a set like this? What do you think? Am I off my rocker? Are these sets not nearly as good, or maybe they're better than what I'm putting them on to be? Please leave your comments, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.